Good afternoon, Mifa. This is a champion. Today we'll continue with our lesson. We are still on the strand Introduction to Computing, then our sub-strand Generation of Computers, Part of Computer, and Other Gadgets. For today's lesson, we'll be looking at the differences between digital and analog devices. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to know the difference between digital devices and analog devices. Okay, so let's look at what digital and analog devices are in computing. Digital devices are devices that process data in a binary digit, and these binary digits are referred to as the zeros and ones. Okay, they are also known as machine language. For example, let's assume you want to type your name, Emefa, on a computer. We normally know that on a keyboard you have this alphabet that helps us to input data into the computer. So if you type your name, Emefa, please start with E-M-E-F-A. The computer will not understand the letters you have sent into it for processing. It only understands what we call the binary digit, that's the zeros and ones. So your name you typed will go into the computer in the form of zeros and ones, and that's what we call the machine language. That's what the computer understands. So when it gets there, these zeros and ones are now processed and comes out from the computer as our information, which will be your name, Emefa. Okay. So any device that accepts data in the form of zeros and ones processes or works on the data and gives out information. All those devices are classified as digital devices. Okay, and the computer is one of the examples of digital devices. Okay, so the zeros and ones that are being used by these computers are what we refer to as the binary digit or the machine language. Okay. Now let's have a look at some of the examples of devices that are classified as digital devices. So as I mentioned earlier on, we have the computer. The computer is one of the examples of digital devices. The next one we have mobile phones. Mobile phones work the same as computers. They also accept data, process the data, and gives out information. Okay, mobile phones also accept data in the form of binary digit or code and work on them. We have tablets, then we have digital televisions, okay, we have smartwatches, digital cameras, we have scanners, printers, and projectors. So these are some few examples of digital devices, and all these devices process data in the form of binary digit, or they accept data in the form of binary codes, works on them before they will give out an output or information which will be meaningful to the user. Now here we have some pictures of digital devices. Okay, so with the examples we mentioned earlier on, these are some few images of digital devices. We have the desktop PC, okay, or the desktop computer. We have a digital camera, we have mobile phone, we have iPad, which looks similar to that of a tablet. Then we have MP3 players. Okay, again we have other examples. I hope you know how a projector looks like from our previous lesson when we were doing output devices. Okay, we have these digital televisions that comes in the flat form or the flat panel televisions. They are all examples of digital devices. Now let's move on to the next device, which is the analog device. With analog devices, these devices present data in the terms of physical quantities, okay, or measurements. With this device, their data can be read by the user. Okay, your analog devices capture their data from the environment or object. For example, if you talk through a microphone, or when you are using a microphone. The microphone captures the sound or the voice that comes from the user or the human being and try to capture it, and it goes through the speaker, which is then heard by the user. Okay, so the microphone is also an example of analog device. Okay, an example, when you go to a hospital and they want to check your temperature, they normally put this analog thermometer into your armpit. Okay, immediately you bring it out, you are able to read the recordings by just looking at the device. So any device that represents data in terms of physical quantity or measurement, we refer to that device as analog device. So let's have some examples of analog devices. The first one, we have analog thermometer. Then we have microphone. We also have cassette. Okay. We have analog speedometer, analog barometer. We have analog watches. We have tape recorders. We have speakers. We have the scale balance. We have analog hydrometer, and so on. So we have more devices that measures data in the form of physical quantities. Okay, even the speedometer we see in cars are all examples of digital devices. It shows the speed at which a car is moving. Okay, so any device that records data in the form of a physical quantity, that device is called analog device. Now let's have a look at some of these devices. Okay, so as you can see on your screen, these are pictures of analog devices. The first one, we have the headphone. Okay, we have a headphone. Okay, which is also an output device. We have the speaker. The speaker also works the same as the headphone. Okay, they all give out sound. And next one, we have the thermometer. This is an example of an analog thermometer. Okay, as you can see, we have the readings on it, which you can read from. Then we have here a microphone. On our right, we have the analog television. Then below, we have analog barometer. All these devices are classified as analog devices. They all represent data in a physical quantity. Now, after this, we'll look at the similarities between these two devices, what we see common among these two devices. So with the first one, both analog and digital devices require data. Okay, each of them will only work or brings out information to a user with the help of a data. So each of them requires the use of data to bring out a result or information. Then with these two devices, they both bring out information after processing data. Okay, so when you input data into them, they are all able to bring out information for the user to understand. So both the digital and the analog devices require the use of data, and after that, they will work on the data to give out what we call information. Then the next one, both analog and digital signals are not static. When you say they are not static, it means that they can be changed from one form to another form. An example, if you talk through a microphone, okay, the microphone will capture the sound that is coming from your mouth, which will come in the form of analog wave or signals. Okay, when this microphone is being connected to the computer, the sound card inside the computer will convert the analog wave into a digital wave. Okay, so here we can say that both analog and digital signals are not static. Okay, it means that analog signals can be changed to digital signals, and digital signals can also be changed to analog signals. Okay, so today we'll end our lesson here. Before that, I have an assignment for you. So with your second assignment and introduction to computing, we have the following question. Question 1, you define the following. The first one is digital devices. So you write what digital devices are. Then B, you write what analog devices are. Then question 2, you will give 3 examples each of analog devices and digital devices. So here you can draw a table. At the left side, you can write digital devices. Then at the right side, you write analog devices. Then you give 3 examples each. Okay, you write down 3 examples of devices that falls under digital devices and that of analog devices. We'll end our lesson here and continue next week, Monday. Okay, make sure you do the assignment and submit on time. Bye.